All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Richmond. Tiger.
On first down, it's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And 3 yards there takes them to the 45.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Reset.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. To punt it away on 4th down, here's Drew Kaiser. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. His first carry. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On 1st down, it's Long. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Block on third down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
On that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on fourth down to punt this thing. Back deep for the Texans, Will Fuller. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And now out comes Houston. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And a big loss here as he's taken down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. That'll net 7 yards on the ground, but it'll leave him with a healthy distance still to go on third down. After the run, Watson going to throw. Forced out to his left. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And the Colts coming out now. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Second and 10, Luck again. Going for the deep ball. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Luck. And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down.
Basically, you're not going to outwork 2 guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else for the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out there.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Richmond.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
We always talk about, we always look for guys with fresh legs down the stretch of a long NFL season. Well, in Week 16, he was AFC Player of the Week. And looks
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Cooper was the target there. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense. But the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Andre Howell, the one to bring him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally.
And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Colts are able to grow their lead. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown.
Ordinarily, I'd like to say it was a win-win, but it really wasn't because the defender, while he was there with excellent coverage, he didn't get the benefit, did he?
But he's not going to get chewed up in film session, will
No,
he?
he was right there. They'll tell him, okay, of course you need to knock the ball away, but they won't be too upset with him. He did his job for the most part.
And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and get loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22.
Not the result they were looking for there on 3rd down. They end up taking a loss on the play. The only person happy now, the punter, gets to go out there and show mom that he gets to play in the game.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for Houston. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, You got to like what they're doing.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Justin Houston, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. This is Hines. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Here's Luck. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
There's a lot about that play you could easily see coming. Backed up in the shadow of their own goal line, you know they're going to face pressure.
He's lucky his arm was going forward. It was close, but it was going forward.
Yeah, it could have been a safety or even giving up a defensive touchdown.
And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a first down carry by Jones. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Now Jones to throw on 2nd down. And an alley to run. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down. Little quick spin move before he's dropped, and a pretty good gain. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Now this time he'll look to throw. Keeps himself upright. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Mike Daniels. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Now it's Sturgis converted on the field goal. Now he'll send this one away on the kickoff. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Here's a handoff to Hines to begin the drive. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 2nd down, here's Locke. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout. But let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston. Then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all. On 1st down, Locke, incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Locke. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Luck throwing again. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Colts with a first red zone opportunity of the ball game. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. They run with Hines. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'd be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Love. And he is going to be stopped on the return at his own 3-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Now a first down throw. Watson drops it to Jones in the flat. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Jones breaking from the contact. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And, folks, this is a 67-yard attempt. And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. A final shot before the break. Lock going up top. That's going to be caught. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 7. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, here's Love. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Third and long, it's Love. He's going to look deep down the field. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Colts add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And that should give his guys a spark. He's up all the way to the 44-yard line.
It's the third quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard, and while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Jones breaking from the contact, and he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Now Jones. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Here's Drew Kaiser now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
From the end zone, Love. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 75 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now it's Hines. He's to the 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. To throw his line. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
So what's the word I'm looking for here about how this drive just started?
Disjointed?
I'll go with that one. I mean, think about it. 1st down, took a bad loss on a running play. take the sack on second down. Now they got to come up with something big here on third.
So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now Luck. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Play action. It's Luck. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, they started that drive all the way back at the 1, able to march down, get 3.
It was daunting to begin with, wasn't it? But I thought overall, a very poised and efficient drive to get 3 points.
This will be fielded at the 8. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Tiger, tiger, tiger.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson rolling to his left. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So erase the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. Runs through the contact. And he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Flag down. This could set him back. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Here's Hines. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Back now in Houston, it's the Colts. They've got control of the football. They also have the lead as we start the 4th. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And down he'll go at the 25. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Even after the penalty, still a full 7 yards to go on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Locke. He's going to let this one go deep. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. And taken right on the 30. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. And down to the 36-yard line here. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Richmond. Tiger. Kill. Turn up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Spinning away, and he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Amari Cooper, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. Sturgis adds the PAT. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. And this is going to be taken in by the Colts. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
675.
To throw on second down is Locke. Now they go screen. It's complete. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. And that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
4 down. Hot.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. And nothing but daylight ahead. Touchdown, Houston. Ronald Jones, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. Well, he only needed 2 yards. It was 3rd and 2, but he found a way to make the Red Sea part.
And remember, it's 3rd and 2. In the NFL, that's not automatically a running down. Most of the time, it's a passing play. So in this case, now they're probably loosened up just a little bit, thinking pass. They hit him with the run, and boy, did they hit him big. Is he still going? I mean, Michael, you called the touchdown, right?
That did. A very important extra point there, up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. This one taken just inside the 10. And spins away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Line, 6, 7, 5, hut. Go ahead.
They run again with Hines. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4.
11. Go ahead.
Throwing his lock. And he's got his man Hilton. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Luck able to find Hilton there for a Colt first down. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Reggie. Gun. Go ahead.
Luck. Looking deep downfield. And that is caught. One-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there for Indy. 54 yards. Well, I guess at the very least, they got the tackle from keeping him out of the end zone.
Yeah, you're looking for that silver lining, aren't you? But guess what? Everything changes now after that big play. They've got a chance to strike.
Luck going to keep it on the sneak. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Andrew Luck with time running out. And the Colts have broken our tie as they take the lead. Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. The Texans on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. And remember here, no timeouts.
And this may be a case of too little, too late, unless they throw one towards the end zone and get a Hail Mary.
Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Colts, they will indeed finish over 500 at 9-7. And that is maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but a better than average season nonetheless. Meanwhile, for Houston, we'll have to see what happens as they're going to finish the year 10-6. And as division champs, they will host a playoff game next week in the wild card round. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
it.